Hello and welcome to the final bout of the GGRD Invitational Weekend. We've had an amazing round of games here, and we're just starting with Denver versus Philly. B-Diva is the starting jammer for Philly. She is, drawn a cut and is headed to the box. Denver's starting jammer is number 4.
Busek.
Busek. I apologize in advance for all the mispronunciations that I might have in my first and final day as an announcer.
Oh, I think all announcers say that.
They say that on their first day, that it's their final day.
Yes.
Busek pulls lead jammer status and is already around for 5. We've seen Denver play twice this weekend, or some of us have. They played Gotham yesterday and scrimmaged. It wasn't a scrimmage, it was a sanctioned bout of sorts, but a close scrimmage against the New York Stock Exchange earlier today.
It's a busy weekend.
It's a busy weekend for them. They are clearly a well-drilled, well-practiced team and have been killing it all weekend. I'm Harm's Way, by the way.
Oh, and I'm a load of sarcasm.
We will be your hosts for this final bout of the Invitational Weekend.
All
Looks
right.
like Wilhelm is jamming for Denver.
And picking up lead as well.
Herman Munster is Philly's jammer.
And we admit there's going to be a slight delay as we call the jammers, just because we're in a funny little spot where we see them head on and don't have too much information on them until they hit turn 1.
Right. Actually, we could just delay the audio for the entire bout, and they could rewind it so that when we start speaking at turn 1, they just push that back to the start of the jam. And then it will sound like we actually know what we're talking about.
Either that or it'll sound like a kung fu movie from the 70s, like where nothing really matches up.
Right. Kill Martin is on the jammer line for Philly. Denver doing a great job of knocking Philly's jammers out and drawing them back.
And picking up lead there, currently 3 for 3 right now. And jamming for Denver is Sharpless, number 719.
Who went by so fast the first time, I didn't even see who it was. Calling it off, carving out 3 points. We've seen a lot of this weekend, the 4-0, 5-0 jams, just carving it out one piece at a time.
Well, when you've got two teams that are matched up skill-wise, it makes perfect sense. Jammers getting out at basically the same time, putting the pressure on the other jammer.
Right, and with Philly ranked number 10 and Denver ranked number 5, this is a very good matchup. V-Diva is jamming for Philly. She is out for lead. That is number 4, Busek for Denver, who's almost a full lap behind, but the pack speeds up. V-Diva gets her points, calls it off. So had I mentioned I've never announced before.
It's okay.
I want to establish that in advance. It's the opposite of establishing street cred. I want to establish that I'm likely
As little credibility
It's a
as
fail,
possible.
yes. Low expectations.
All right, we've got a score of 24 for Denver. V-Diva put 4 on the board for Philly this last pass.
We've got Devoid of Mercy jamming for Philly. Both packs giving the jammers a lot of work to do.
Devoid of Mercy still trying to make it to the outside.
And that's Wilhelm jamming again for Denver. Oh. Mercy with some great moves on the outside line.
Lead jammer's going to go to Philly.
Teflon Donna, last line of defense against Wilhelm and holding her in. Mercy versus Akers, and she's around. We are also, in our defense, we're also in a position where we can't see the score very easily.
Yeah, it's a challenge upon all challenge. Philly's got 8, Denver's got 24. So Philly doubled their points in the last jam. We also can't see the clock.
We can see the points better than the clock.
All right, Philly down 2 blockers in the box. Denver with a blocker standing. All right, and that is Sharpless out there once again picking up lead for Denver.
Herman Munster hot on her heels.
Sharpless picks up her 4, calls it off, bringing Denver up to 28.
Kilmartin again on the jammer line for Philly. Facing off against Busek.
Busek gets pushed out of bounds in the front stretch, back up to turn 4, but comes back with a vengeance, taking it to the inside, picking up a lead jammer.
Oh, and she is through for 5. Kilmartin having a lot of trouble with Denver's wall.
Busek on her second scoring pass. Kilmartin still not completed an initial. Penalty box is empty. Spoke too soon. It looks like Kilmartin, who still hasn't made her initial pass, who
No,
still
sorry.
hasn't.
Busek's off to the
Yes.
box.
Yeah, so, well,
Kilmartin's-
Kilmartin's in a power jam,
yeah.
still hasn't made her initial pass.
Correct.
Akers being sent to the penalty box for a forearm. Denver very effective at getting Kilmartin into a position where she's either going to pick up a cut or have to get reabsorbed back into the pack.
Right.
Until that very moment.
Whatever we say, we can jinx it.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish that worked with the lottery. All right, both teams picking up 3 points at the end of that. Denver at 41, Philly at 11, so 30 points separating the two. V-Diva wearing the star for Philly. and Wilhelm wearing the star for Denver. V Diva through, picking up lead jammer. Wilhelm getting triple teamed in turn 3.
Yeah, Tarantula and Russian Bayou doing a great job at the top there.
V Diva is through for 5 points. Taking a quick hop in turn 1, picking up 4 more for Philly. That'll bring Philly to 20, Denver at 41.
With V Diva, you can't even really call it jumping the apex at times. It's just a little hop.
Yeah, yeah.
Just a little hop.
Effortless. I watched her play last night when the Philly All-Stars took on DCRG All-Stars.
Oh. So Philly's had a busy weekend as well.
Yes, yes.
Official timeout. You would think it would give us a chance to tell you how much time's on the clock. We can at least tell you the score is 41 to 20.
With Denver right? On top, yep.
Denver on top. And that is Herman Munster, unfortunately going to the box as jammer for Philly. Sharpless is through and
not lead jammer.
Ruled not lead.
So I don't know if
that looks like that's sticking.
Yeah, maybe Herman Munster had picked it up and then lost it. Yeah, kind of all in the same breath.
Must have been.
All right, but regardless, she may not be the lead jammer. She is scoring points. That is 5 more on the board for Denver. Philly's jammer standing, as is their blocker.
Oh. Neat little hop up the inside line.
Herman Munster barreling through that Denver wall towards the back.
If there isn't a hole there, you may as well make your own
hole. So it looks as though that is being called her completion of an initial pass, so perhaps Sharpless just had a no pass, no penalty that we didn't see. And it looks like Herman Munster backed up well into the back stretch by Denver. Both teams kind of coming together well to just swarm around the opposing jammers.
Oh, everything almost come to a standstill.
Yep. Looks like Sharpless found the opening she was looking for, picks up 5 points at the end of that. Herman Munster, though, picking up 4 herself. Denver at 60, Philly at 24.
It's always nice to have visiting teams come into your city, and this is a particularly nice venue for it.
Oh, right,
yeah.
You get a vacation and a couple of bouts all in one weekend.
You can go right out the back door after your bout and jump in the ocean.
I mean, people talk about the pool at ECDX, but really after this weekend, there's no comparison.
Yeah, we have an entire ocean here.
Yes.
Not quite as clean, perhaps, as the pool at ECDX, but refreshing nonetheless.
By the end of the weekend, who knows how much chlorine they've got to put in that pool.
Right.
And plus there's all of Coney Island, all of that iconic amusement park.
Yeah.
Right outside the door here. There was a baseball game earlier.
Yep. It's a great weekend of Derby.
Yeah, so really whenever someone is watching this, I imagine like this being put into a time capsule, a roller derby time capsule. And they'll unearth this 20 years later.
And they'll all wish they were here.
Right? So true. But if you ever get an opportunity to come and see a bout or an invitational like this here at the Abe Stark Arena, I would not pass it up.
Yeah, this will be Gotham's final weekend of the summer here. It's all iced over 9 months out of the year. So
really?
They just get this window when it's not. Whatever official timeout we have, it's cleared the track.
It looks like someone may have dropped a contact or something in turn 4. They're looking for something very small, perhaps.
Oh. If we're all lucky, they'll edit this part out.
Yeah, they'll just kind of, clip here, clip there, put it together. And no one's going to miss a thing.
Looks more like they're cleaning something up. You know, possibly blood on the track.
I feel like if you were ever going to make a derby horror movie, that would be the perfect title.
Blood on the track.
Blood
on the flat track.
Yes.
Oh, wait. There is that. There's already that movie.
Is there?
And there is a roller derby horror movie. Someone was making it about a year ago. They must have made it by now.
Okay, because I remember like the talk about it at first, but then I don't.
They were fundraising for
Oh,
it.
okay.
If I knew my stuff, I could just tell you the name of it, tell you how good it is. But instead, I just have vague innuendo that there might be a roller derby horror movie out there.
I think vague innuendo, though, is a good start as a derby announcer. I feel like that's how it was when I first started.
Yeah, I think they're looking for blood.
You make that sound so just scary. They're out there looking for blood now.
Yeah.
It's the officials,
They
too.
don't seem to know where the blood is. They're just looking for blood.
Just let's swat the whole area down.
Yeah,
just
they're like, that might be blood.
oh, look, I have this stuff from my CSI days. We
Right.
can just pour it here and bring out the black light.
No, she's totally gone over with ammonia or something. Right? Discarding the gloves.
Yeah, universal precautions there.
And we are back. Just a brief blood interlude. V Diva again, jamming for Philly. Squaring off against Busek.
All right, V Diva's going to pick up lead jammer privilege for Philly. That's 3 out of 4 for her.
Oh, and we've had a star pass. Busek passed it off to number 82, Quigley. She gets her 4 points, though. And is being told, I assume from her bench, to keep going. Yep.
I'll say that was a jump.
Yeah, that was a little more of a jump. Still effortless.
Yes.
So Quigley, unfortunately, is going to the box for Denver. Philly probably seeking to take advantage of a, you might guess a pivot is a less experienced jammer.
Yep.
And V Diva is,
Experienced.
yeah, experienced.
That is another full 5 points for Philly. That's going to bring them up to 43, narrowing in on the lead that Denver has. They are at 60.
And an interesting technique there. Pause from Philly. Looked like there was going to be no offense. And then once V-Diva hit the pack, then they swarmed.
All right, 14 points separating Denver and Philly.
Yeah, that was a successful jam for Philly.
Quigley is still wearing the star for Denver, standing in the penalty box, so obviously less than 10 seconds.
And we've got Devoid of Mercy on the jammer line for Philly. Still has 3 blockers to fight through.
Akers coming in and bridging the 2 packs. Devoid of Mercy looking like she thought that she might have been drawn into a cut. Picks up lead jammer privilege. Number 86, Wax Poetics, being sent to the penalty box for Philly.
And Castro and Meryl Stripper doing a great job against Quigley on the back, but Quigley then makes it through. Mercy calling it off with 5 points.
All right, so that brings Philly to within 9. They're at 51. Denver still at 60.
Kilmartin jamming for Philly. Wilhelm with the star for Denver. Some great defense on both sides.
And some great recycling by Denver. Kilmartin thinking that she was out just about on the inside. And it looks like number 831, S.H. Long, came in last minute and took her out. Kilmartin, though, is going to be persistent and pick up lead jammer. And then it looks like nobody's moving on turn 3. Kilmartin at the very back after completing her lap.
Yeah, very static out there.
Wax Poetic being sent to the penalty box for Philly.
So both teams just making it really difficult for both jammers. Just, yeah, amazing. Philly puts Willem out at the front, draws her back, has the advantage of the angle. Denver does the same thing.
Absolutely.
Both teams extremely disciplined, extremely well drilled.
And that's it. Wilhelm finally makes her way through on her initial pass. Kilmartin has picked up 5 points. Philly at 56, Denver at 60.
Herman Monster, I believe, hiding behind the line as jammer for Philly.
Just 2 blockers out there for Denver, unable to keep Herman Monster back. She's going to pick up lead jammer.
And that's Denver Sharpless, who's getting the raw end of a Philly wall. Teflon Donna and Meryl Stripper and Legend really giving Sharpless a hard time.
It looks like Herman Monster being sent to the penalty box. Sharpless had done a star stash, it looks like it there.
Denver coming in with some offense, but Philly's staying just abreast of them. Ah, but she makes it around the outside.
Philly taking a sharpless to the inside, taking her back to turn 3. Herman Monster's out of the penalty box. She also is going to get pushed to the inside, not backed up quite so far.
Herman Monster finally free. Picks up 4 points.
Denver 65, Philly
Comes
61.
back around. Picks up 4 more. You know.
All right, so that'll bring this last pass Denver to 69 and Philly to 65.
A lot of hard work out there.
All right, so V-Diva out there, who does such a great job getting through the pack to begin with, only has to make her way past 2 Denver blockers who've been split up. She's going to make quick work. She is through, not lead jammer, though. That's going to allow Busek the opportunity to still pick that up.
Which she does. And calls it off. Ah, but not in time. Philly steals 4 points.
So that pickup of 4 points, if you remember my announcement from the tail end of the last jam, means that that's a tie score now, 69-69.
My goodness. That is exciting.
And it looks like V-Diva's not done out there again, back to back.
It's possible that they've decided to try and shift some momentum in their favor. V-Diva gets lead jammer. Wilhelm is quite a ways behind her. V-Diva again with a little hop and a skip over that inside line. Hits it and quits it. So Philly takes the lead for the first time this bout.
That they do. They are up 73-69.
Denver had pulled away early. Had a healthy cushion.
Yes.
But Philly's made up the difference.
Yep. Overtime, and I think that we have a little over 7 minutes left to go in this first half. Number 4, Busek out there for Denver.
Denver blockers have just a great eye, and they see where the jammers are headed, come all the way across the track to catch them.
Devoid of Mercy still looking to make her initial pass. Great hip placement by Denver blocker, who got called on a low block and sent right to the penalty box. I think she was a little bit surprised by that low block call.
Philly managing to regroup. Mercy just finding that the Denver blockers are not giving her an inch.
So that was number 28, Barrett, who got sent to the penalty box for Denver. She came out with a vengeance, looking to break that pack up that was holding back Busek.
Mercy fights her way through, finally gets free. But just as the jam ends.
All right, so taking a quick look down at the scoreboard here. Tie score 73-73. Team timeout, Denver. We've got roughly about 5 or 6 minutes before we head into the half. And keep in mind, this is Denver's third game of the Invitational. They played the All-Stars on Saturday, and then they scrimmaged the Shock Exchange this morning. So they had a full schedule.
Yeah, with tough opponents.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Philly is proving to be a third tough opponent.
Yep. And again, as I mentioned, some of Philly's team having played last night on the the Pennsylvania All-Star team. So it looks like that team timeout has come to an end. We're going to have Sharpless up next for Denver. And that's number 15, Kill Martin, for Philly. Neither jammer are really making it past the pivot line at this point.
Yeah. Kilmartin really bouncing back and forth, trying to get through. Sharpless, by contrast, pushing. And in this instance, pushing seemed to work. Kilmartin out about half a length, half a track behind her. Philly at the top. Sharpless pushes through the inside for 2 points.
Denver retakes the lead 75 to Philly 73. About 4.5 minutes left to go.
Where are you seeing the clock? Can you see that?
They've got it on a larger font just down here on this computer.
Good for you, good eye.
I also got my prescription
I
updated
can't see
about
that.
a week and a half ago, so.
I would need binoculars for that.
It's the rosters in front of me that I can't read.
So Herman Monster fighting at the front of the pack. Two more Denver skaters and 0 more. She's out. Wilhelm just buried at the back.
Herman Monster completing her initial pass, looking to make her scoring pass. Denver looked almost a little caught up in trying to get Wilhelm through on her initial. Second or two later, and Herman Monster could have picked up a couple of points. 75-75. About 3.5 minutes left to go.
They really want, oh, look at this. Pivots with their toe stops on the pivot line.
Right?
And everyone remembers what that means, right?
Yes.
Do we teach new skaters what that means?
I mean, I guess we're going to have to start. It's certainly an easy way to force a penalty right from the start.
Yeah. V-Diva has her hands full with 4 Denver blockers.
And hands full, you mean on the way to the penalty box?
Unlucky. Busek having a tough time against Philly. And it's all going backwards. Here comes the offense from Akers. See, you can't say that on venue announcing.
That, yes, so true.
Here comes the offense. Teff just demolishes Busek out off the outside line. And to add insult to injury, makes her come all the way back.
In the
Again,
meantime, V Diva's come out of the box.
great penalty kill by Philly. Just
Yes.
absolutely textbook.
And you know, that's with Denver's offense at work,
Yeah,
trying to
yeah.
get their own jammer out of the pack.
Yeah, they're not sitting around idle.
No, definitely not.
Busek has the star off. Made a feint to hand it off to Akers, but doesn't need to. Finally gets free.
V Diva's last scoring pass was a lead change. But she's just completed a second one.
And she is not calling it. Akers off with a forearm.
V Diva through for another 5 points. That's going to bring Philly up to 89.
Oh, of course.
Denver at 75.
Sorry, I said something stupid there before. The lead had been given up because V Diva went to the box.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is true.
So nobody was calling that off. Did I mention this is my first and last day as an announcer?
The key is, though, is that, you know, when something like that happens, you don't have to announce to anyone that you made that mistake because everyone who's watching this already knows.
Right, they've already screamed at me at their TVs or their computer screens. To avoid a mercy jamming for Philly. That looks like sharpless there for
It
Denver.
does. She got low, picked up lead jammer privilege for Denver. Denver, who's now down by 11.
Oh, and smart play by Tarantula. Sharpless goes down soft, out of bounds, races right up the apex in the other direction, drags her all the way back to the jammer line.
And really, that happened to both jammers, both kind of entering back where they started.
Yeah, it's like we restarted the whole jam. Gingivitis trying to give Mercy some help with offense, but unfortunately draws a penalty. Tarantula making life very difficult for Sharpless in the back. Again and again.
And you know, while she keeps getting recycled to basically the jammer line, in the meantime, Devoid of Mercy's not really going anywhere.
Yeah.
Akers really anchoring her two blockers.
Mercy putting a lot of energy into pushing that is yet to bear fruit.
And I was going to say, we could really, see the clock wind down and take us into halftime right there.
That was a tough jam. I would not want to be a jammer out there for either team.
No.
That looks like a lot of work.
That just dawned on me.
A lot of work.
Accustomed to.
We have a certain nostalgia for things.
Yep.
Number 10, Philly, facing off against number 5, Denver, for the final bout of the GGRD Invitational weekend. And you couldn't ask for anything better than a neck and neck, multiple lead change bout for your final bout of the weekend.
Yep. Right now we've got Philly on top at 89, Denver at 81.
V Diva squaring off against Busek for Denver. Both jammers been doing a great job in the first half. Tarantula draws some sort of penalty, or sorry,
I think
not
it was
draws, commits a penalty.
A direction.
Busek gets out, and that might be V Diva's first jam where she did not get lead jammer. I could be wrong about that, but that's certainly what it seems like.
Her fourth. She had 2 where she picked up penalties.
Oh, good for you.
Yep.
Someday when I'm a seasoned announcer, I'll know these things. before things come out of my mouth, I'll check to see if I know what I'm talking about.
No, great. It's great because it gives me something to talk about then.
Gives you a chance to correct me.
No, just add information.
All right. Add correct information.
All right, fine.
I think we've got Kilmartin back there. Oh, no.
All right.
Sorry, Herman Monster jamming for Philly. Having a tough time getting out. Number 20, Wilhelm. Through and picks up 4.
Yep.
Before Herman Monster can come back around. The Void of Mercy wearing the star for Philly. Sharpless wearing the star for Denver. The box is empty.
And the score is tied.
And the score is tied.
89-89.
It's like they just started.
Right?
I bet they feel like they just started. The Void of Mercy comes right through the middle. Gets lead jammer super quick. Sharpless right on her heels. Right on her heels. And
Denver, though, waiting
does not
for
call it
Devoid
off.
of Mercy.
Everybody goes out. Everybody gets drawn back. Mercy calling it.
Denver is going to pick up 2. Philly's going to pick up 1. That's going to give Denver the lead by 1.
Bit of a chaotic jam there.
Denver's jammer just kind of pushing her own blocker out of the way. No,
That
no,
was
no, I
interesting.
got this. Yeah, I don't know if I've ever seen that.
Yeah, that was Busek jamming for Denver. Wasn't sure if she was trying to communicate, I need you to go back now, or she just needed some stability so she could stay in bounds. Kilmartin now jamming for Philly. And just when you think they're stuck, they just race up the outside. Busek hits a very solid tarantula to little effect.
Denver adding 1 more point to their lead.
V Diva out there squaring off against Wilhelm. The pack has moved a little closer to the pivot line, although they are slowly creeping back. Guess both teams felt it was advantageous to give their jammers a head start. Get
It's
up a
always
little
interesting
steam
to see what jammers can do with a little bit of time.
in space.
V Diva looking to take it to the outside. Denver's waiting for it. Wilhelm, though, using that like kind of chaos to her advantage. She's going to pick up lead. V Diva, though, hot on her tail.
And managed to squeeze out 2 points. Great timing with calling it off and
Oh, yeah.
still collecting a few points.
Denver at 94, Philly at 90.
Sharpless facing off against Herman Monster. Just unbelievable packs, defense from both teams. Such tight formations.
And, you know, actually at this point, they're all just so close and so on top of each other. Formations be darned. It's just bodies on bodies.
Yeah.
Herman Monster, though, is going to make her way out in front first, picking up lead for Philly.
And Tarantula and looks like Gingivitis. They hold Sharpless just long enough to really give Herman Monster an opportunity to pick up 2 points.
Devoid of Mercy wearing the star for Philly. We'll give you Denver's jammer in just a moment.
Oh, it's Busek.
All right.
Mercy out quick for lead jammer. Busek pulled all the way back, pulls off the star. Drawn back again.
Devoid of Mercy getting a back block call, being sent to the penalty box, leaving Busek in a power jam. Once she puts the star back on. Still holding on to that, not passing it off.
Kasher with a low block, just unlucky. Feet collide. Busek, star back on her head. It's that wall of gingivitis, Teflon Donna. And Meryl Stripper. Busek just, the elevator doors shut and she just kept going through them.
She's through for 4. It looks like Devoid of Mercy getting a cut track. That is the second penalty for her this jam. Denver's made it over the century mark there, currently at 107, Philly at 96.
Busek getting a pop there from gingivitis. Taking her time to get back to the pack. And that is a 2-minute jam. Box is cleared. So Mercy is out of the box. Philly is calling a timeout.
Denver 112, Philly at 99. So this evening sun kind of hitting the track just right.
I was just admiring it. I was sort of in a zen moment.
Yeah, it's really quite pretty.
Announcers are not really allowed to have zen moments.
No.
It's just called drifting off.
Yes.
And here we go. Pack up on the pivot line again. At least for the moment.
Right.
They just tease me with that. It's like an old timers bout.
All right, so number 18, V Diva out there for Philly.
And if the Denver Jammer wasn't buried in the pack,
yeah,
I could tell you that it was Wilhelm. Great hit from Russian Bayou, which delays Wilhelm just enough for V Diva to come around for her points.
All right, so it looks like Wilhelm's going to be allowed to pick up some points. She's also going to get knocked to the inside, backed up behind the jammer line into turn 4.
It's Tarantula, the lone Philly blocker.
That's it. Wilhelm has picked up 4 points. And before she makes the second pass, V-Diva calls it off after picking up 2.
Little chaotic there.
Looks like Teflon Donna being sent to the penalty box. That'll be 2 Philly blockers sitting and 1 standing. And another team timeout taken by Philly.
Yeah, it seemed to, chaotic's maybe the best word for that last jam. It's the polite word.
Yeah, yeah.
It's definitely tough to execute anything precise when you're waterfalling in and out of the box.
Yep.
That's a struggle.
And that's really not a strategy anyone wants.
Yeah. Thank you. I don't think anyone can hear that.
We'll find out on the replay.
Kilmartin is headed out to the jammer line for Philly. Tarantula, the lone blocker at the moment.
And it looks like that's the tallest jammer I've seen out of Denver all evening, so I'm interested to see.
Well, that's just because there aren't Philly blockers out there to obscure
oh,
the
that
view.
could be it. That could be it.
Because we're used to Philly obscuring our view of the Denver jammer.
Or she could look new to me because it's number 27, Do, who's jamming for the first time.
You are right. Oh, my God. Fantastic, fantastic move. Tarantula tries to draw her back.
And then great awareness by Akers to knock out Tarantula to kind of allow her own jammer Do to get back in.
Yeah. Yeah. Great heads-up play. But that was just some amazing defense that Tarantula had initially. Do finding what all the other Denver jammers have found, and that's a really tough wall.
That wall, though, breaks up a little bit, with at least 1 penalty assessed. She's going to make her way through for 5 points. That's going to bring Denver to 126. That'll put them 20 points up on Philly at 106.
And it looks like Philly had a star pass, and then that jammer, unfortunately, went to the box. Deb, seriously?
Well, for a first time out there, Do's doing a great job.
Deb seriously back on the track, jamming for Philly. That is just a slog, a hard slog.
2 more points for Do. I believe that was a 17-point jam for her. That's going to put Denver at 133, Philly at 106. About 17 and a half minutes left to go in the second half.
So a bit of a momentum change. Denver creeping away from Philly. Still plenty of time for that to change, and Philly has proven that,
without a doubt,
that they're equally matched. They're up to the task. Oh, Sharpless, real quick up the inside. V-Diva, half track behind her.
Sharpless just looking for a couple of points that are going to free for her.
And V-Diva gets 2. 3 points to 2 on that pass. Herman Monster on the line for Philly. I'm going to go with Busek.
I think that that's a good bet right there.
Let's just hope that her name is actually Busek.
I've been told you just need to say it with authority. That's so not true. So not true.
Herman Monster cuts the track at turn 1. So easy to do. You think you got it.
And you know, there was a split second where I wasn't quite sure who had actually gotten that penalty because they both emerged from the pack at the same time. Five more points on the board for Denver, 146 to Philly's 108.
Denver coming in with the offense. Not really breaking up Philly's wall quite the way that might have been intended. Herman Monster back on the track, and we are back to the rugby scrum. All 10 skaters. Great job by Herman Monster fighting her way through, right on the heels of Busek, who calls it off.
Denver really pulling away with two big jams within the last couple of minutes. We had a 17-point jam. This one was just a 15-point jam, bringing them to 151. Philly holding steady at 108.
This is really a moment where Philly needs to dig deep, do something to shift this momentum.
Wilhelm is out of the pack, picking up lead jammer for Denver.
Just showing an incredible nimbleness, dancing up that inside line. Devoid of mercy, finally through.
Wilhelm just kind of making her way through pretty cleanly rather, straight up the middle. And now taking the inside, gets hit but stays on her feet, nails the landing and picks up 5 points. That right there might have been my favorite play of the game so far.
Yeah, that was great.
I believe that Wilhelm just channeled the power of that careless whisper that's playing over the PA system.
Nothing amps up two hard fighting roller derby teams.
Like a little wham.
A little wham. V-Diva versus Sharpless. Again, both teams just so coordinated with each other. They're like snowflakes, like blocking snowflakes.
Beautiful in their own right, so similar, yet never the same.
Ginger Vitus coming in with some offense for V-Diva. Oh, and V-Diva stays in, gets around, gets lead jammer. Does almost exactly the same move again, although Denver recycles much faster this time. Gives her a little resistance, but she's out again.
Castro being sent to the penalty box for Philly.
Leaving only 2 Philly blockers out there, which allows Sharpless to finally get through. V-Diva collecting a few more points. Leisurely posing at turn 3 and calling it off.
160 to 118. Denver still on top.
No matter who wins or loses this matchup, they're both leaving it all on the track.
Philly's going to start this jam with 2 blockers in the box, 1 standing.
So quick, so quick. Busek with a lightning fast move around the Philly defense.
That is Kilmartin out there wearing the star for Philly, who now is going to find herself in a power jam. We're going to have a full 2 minutes here.
Ah, that's a great advantage for Philly, and they needed something like that to make up some of the ground here. Kilmartin weaves around the Denver defense. Soft bump sends her to the outside, drawn back again.
Denver's got a jammer back on the track now. Both jammers kind of in the same position right there on the front stretch.
Kilmartin makes her way through the middle.
A resounding hit by I believe it's Russian Bayou.
Yes, who's really put out a few big hits today.
Yeah.
Number 82, Quigley, going in the box for direction and gameplay. It's real tough when you're holding that jammer and you're just a hair's breadth away from standing still as it is.
Yep.
You move just a fraction in the wrong direction and it's a penalty. Number 28 or number 831, I don't want to rob anyone of the credit there, just lays out Philly's jammer with a great hit.
All right, looks like that was a big jam for Philly, a 16-point jam, bringing them up to 134.
And they desperately needed that.
Yes, and Denver picked up a handful themselves there at 169. We've got an official review by Philly.
It's particularly great to see two such long established WIFTA teams go head to head.
Yep.
The roller derby has gotten so big. There's so many leagues, which is all fantastic. But it's great when the long established teams get a chance to play against each other.
Yep.
And Gotham went out to Denver earlier this year. Denver is reciprocating. It gives an opportunity for Philly to just come up the highway and face off against them. And for all those new teams out there, we love you too, but it's great to see the old vets out there.
Yes, yep. Well, that's what I was thinking. The last time I think I saw Denver play was in 2009 when Philly hosted Champs.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And, to still see some of those familiar faces when you're talking 6 and 7 years out. I mean, and that's just my history within the sport. And,
right.
These players who have been doing it for 10 years, 11 years, even longer. And just not getting paid for it. And that, I think, is what astounds me and, tends to be my soapbox sometimes. When people are like, oh, that guy who caught the ball in the end zone with, 2 fingers on it, that's amazing. He's also getting paid millions of dollars. Yes, he should. And so every time you see a jammer who just gets by on the absolute tips of her toe stops to stay in bounds, to have that awareness, or to know where you are if one foot's in, one foot's out, that's the awareness that's astounding.
Well, and the hours and hours of
Yes.
training and the dedication that goes into it. But wait, we're not getting paid for this?
It is your first day.
I was not told that. I was told I would be paid later. I kept being told later.
Later.
Yeah, ask about it later.
Later.
And I just assumed that meant I would be paid later.
Yeah.
We're having an extended official review here. Any idea what they're reviewing?
You know what? No, at this point, I don't even have an idea. You know, one of my favorite parts about any of these tournaments where Sammy Dangerfield shows up is just really Sammy Dangerfield.
Sammy's been DJing all the bouts this weekend and has been killing it. We can thank Sammy for the wham.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I
He would
will.
be responsible for that.
I will not thank him for the Macarena. Oh, he's such an accomplished dancer. Never letting a moment go by.
Yeah.
And always so fashionable. It took me forever to realize that his T-shirt is like the cold beverage cup logo.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, why do I know that? Why does it look so familiar? Oh.
The secret fashion of Sammy Dangerfield.
It's amazing.
So we are starting back up again. We're going to try and hear what that official review might have been. But in the meanwhile, V Diva is squaring off against, again, forgive our terrible angle. And you got to, you know, I blame Philly for burying those jammers in their walls. It's sometimes really hard. Oh, it's Wilhelm. Of course it is. Fighting super hard, but she does pass the star to Disco Akers. Oh, Tracy Akers. V Diva with another hop, skip, and a jump. Picks up 4 points, not calling it off. Akers comes in, hits that wall, hits V Diva.
Who goes out of bounds with a flourish.
Right.
Some fancy hands and then calls it off.
Just when you think Akers is utterly absorbed with fighting her way through the Philly wall, she just flicks out that hip and takes out her Team USA teammate with a smooth move.
Philly's going to pick up, well, let's see, I believe that, well, it's a handful of points. They're at 143. Denver still on top at 171.
Herman Munster for Philly, out there against Pusek. Munster one blocker to go, and she is lead jammer, but Pusek right on her heels.
Pusek not one to give up the lead jammer position.
Philly in the back of the pack, coming in with some offense, trying to break up that Denver wall. And Herman Munster calling it off, but it looks like it's 0-0. Not able to carve out a point there.
Devoid of Mercy up against Sharpless. It only takes 3/4 of a bout for me to learn players by their look of determination.
If they all would just have another bout immediately following this,
Yes, I would be all set.
we could get everyone by name in an instant.
Devoid of Mercy is going to pick up lead jammer privilege for Philly. Sharpless, though, hot on her tail. We'll see how this shakes out. Philly picking up 2, Denver picking up 1.
Philly's getting a few lead jams in a row, and that they need that, but they've got to hold the Denver jammer back to really capitalize on it. Carving away 2 points here, 2 points there. It's not quite going to get the job done at this stage, but it's not too late.
And it looks like Philly actually picked up 3 points. That got changed there. So they're at 146.
And Sharpless is in the box. I have a feeling there might have been a back block right at the end of that jam there. V-Diva swooping through like an albatross.
I'm going to have to go home and watch The Rescuers now just to see how an albatross swoops.
A lot of wingspan, catches the wind. Sharpless re-enters the track with the star in hand. V-Diva jumps the apex. Bit of a slip at the end, but lands legally. Star pass to number 28, Barrett.
Barrett, yep.
V-Diva picking up points, getting hit hard by Denver.
I believe that was S.H. Long who came in towards the end there to pick up, well, rather to take out V-Diva, but not before she picks up 14 points, well-needed points. It's going to bring Philly to 164, and they're going to hold Denver at 172.
Closer and closer. V-Diva is just so powerful. She absorbs those really dramatic hits, and almost as if she's been untouched. Kilmartin coming in for Philly with the star. And again, Philly with such a absorbing wall that it takes a moment before we realize it's Wilhelm.
And Wilhelm is going to pick up the lead for
Fights her way
Denver.
through.
Yeah. And you know, with some help from Akers there, who gets in there and just kind of weasels her way in to that Philly wall that surrounds their jammers.
And Kilmartin just having a real tough time with the Denver wall. As a first-time announcer, I bet you I say the same 3 phrases over and over and over again.
I haven't heard you say, Eloda, you're awesome once.
Eloda, you are awesome. And Eloda announces a great jam once again. Announces all the points. And Kilmartin headed to the box.
And I guess
that's going to hurt Philly at a stage like this.
Was that a cut? It looked like a very small hand signal there. I wasn't 100% sure. Denver's going to pick up 4 more points. That looks like should bring them to 180.
The onus really is on Philly now to be super clean if they really want to pull this out.
So I sit corrected. It looks like Denver's at 176 and Philly is at 164.
Busek is jamming for Denver. You know, manages to weave her way through a exploded Philly wall. V-Diva gets goaded at the back, comes back in to create a pack in the back.
Denver through for 5 points.
Meryl Stripper had done a great job holding Busek just for a few seconds more at the top. Oh. Kilmartin, I believe that was a cut there.
Yep.
Real quick move by Denver.
Kilmartin just sits down, and at that point, Busek is backed up to turn 1. And then makes her way through the pack pretty quick, going to pick up 5 points, and that's going to bring us to the end of the jam.
Yeah, that's a tough jam for Philly. What they really need is to get lead, get the points, close the gap.
Denver's at 186, Philly at 164, and it looks like a minute and a half left.
Now the clock really is the enemy. They're absolutely within reach. Philly could do this. They have what it takes, but they need a little time.
Yep. Well, and it certainly does not help them when they've got Kilmartin sitting in the box.
Although I do see V-Diva out there with a pivot stripe on. If we were venue announcers, we could draw attention to potential strategy. And we don't know that this is strategy, but it is possible that we'll see Kilmartin come straight out of the box, head straight for V-Diva,
Yep.
and give her the star. If they can get Denver's jammer into the box, there's still a very good chance that something dramatic could happen in this final minute.
I mean, we're only talking 22 points. Last night, I want to say V-Diva had a 40-point jam.
Oh, just last night.
Just last night.
So she just needs half that.
I know. It might have been a 45-point jam. I don't want to, I don't want to give her less credit than she deserves. Regardless, it was one hell of a jam.
Oh, something interesting has just happened. I don't know what just happened. Kilmartin's no longer in the box. Maybe she fouled out. Is that possible?
Oh, that could be, as V-Diva's going to wear the star.
They're having V-Diva serve her penalty. It does look like she's fouled out. V-Diva is serving that penalty, so V-Diva will just come right in with the star.
Right, so we don't have to, consider anything or...
And with 1 minute left, it looks like Denver has chosen Wilhelm to finish this. Oh, and she just floats across the apex.
That truly was effortless.
Establishes herself as lead, which is a significant problem for Philly.
It looks like we are under a minute on the period clock.
Russian Bayou headed to the box for Philly. If the game clock runs out, Wilhelm with another skip around Teflon Donna. Both teams clearly have just left everything on the track.
V-Diva standing, so less than 10 seconds. Denver at 191, Philly at 164. Period clock, I believe, just around 30 seconds left.
Wilhelm through again for 5 more points. V-Diva out and able to score. Oh, takes an awkward leap around the apex.
Wilhelm, though.
Wilhelm probably fully aware of the point differential.
Yep.
And the time that might remain. Looks at a bench, told to call it off.
All right, I see the flourish of the whistle and the swirling of the hand.
And that's the end of the clock, is that correct?
I believe so.
We did have a skater down on the track at the end there, Garten, number 37, but she looks like she's okay, which is great. And just a tough bout.
Absolutely a great one to watch, though. Came down to just really the last couple of jams there.
Denver comes all this way and finishes with a win. Although a close win. And,
yes.
And I'll admit my ignorance of how with the rankings function, but that was a very, very close score.
Yeah, actually.